What is this called? Like,
You can label it a substitution method. Okay? All you're going to have to do is, since this is y equals, okay, this is y equals right here, you can plug this equation, this negative 4x plus 12, into this equation for y.
We did that last year.
Yeah. Oh, you did? So this, so we can roll through this?
wait, I
Okay.
didn't do this last year.
So,
I didn't do this last year.
all you have to do is write 2x, and then you're going to substitute this negative 4x plus 12 in for y. Okay? Okay, we're practicing. All I did, my first equation was solved for y. It was y equals negative 4x plus 12. Okay?
Will it always be 2x plus y equals 2?
No. This is an example of, these are examples. Okay? My second equation is 2x plus y equals 2. All I did was substitute that first equation because it is solved for y. Okay? Because it is originally solved for y. All I did was plug that equation into y. I plugged in negative 4x plus 12.
If they're both like the 2.
Okay? You're flat out solving. Now, that negative 4x is going to make that a minus 4x right here. Okay? I'm just going to rewrite it just like that. Is equal to 2. Now, 2x minus 4x gives me what?
Negative 2.
Negative 2x plus 12. All right? Get x by itself, minus 12 from both sides.
Negative 14. Where's the y go? Negative 10.
I substituted my equation, my first equation, in for y. I got rid of the y. Okay? So yes, that's going to give me what? Negative 10.
And you're not done there.
Last step, divide both sides by negative 2.
It'd be 5.
Now,
So you have to find your coordinates. So you plug it into the top
Christian, please,
equation.
please.
8 is 5.
okay? Now, we solved for x. So if we're trying to figure out our x and y, our coordinates, if we have the first part. The only thing that you need to do is substitute that 5, because we're trying to find y. You would substitute that 5 in for either one of those equations in for x. Okay? So let's say, I'm going to rewrite that equation 2x plus y. Hold on. Okay, I just rewrote that equation. 2x plus y is equal to 2. Now, we just figured out what x equals. All right? So, you would plug in what for x? 5. Okay? That gives you 10. All I'm doing is solving. Minus 10 from both sides. So y is equal to negative 8.
Wait. Where did the negative 4 go? It like conjoined
Multiply.
Not even
Conjoined, what is
different equation. It's times 2 times negative 4 and it went negative. It's so much easier like that.
Because you can't always use a graphing calculator.
Well, I can use a graph paper.
Or draw one.
You can use a graph paper, yes, that's one way. But we're doing this we're solving this way of substitution.
Yeah, but it takes so long.
This is the easy way to
This is
solve
easy.
it.
No,
It's a lot longer than just Johnson.
This one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to substitute, since this is y equals 2x, we're going to substitute 2x into y. Okay? So, I'm going to rewrite 3x plus. Now, make sure whenever you substitute these numbers in, okay, or this equation in, make sure you use parentheses. Okay, so this is going to be 2x. All right, is equal to 11. All I did was substituted 2x in for our y. our y right there, okay? That's all I did. Because I want to figure out what the x value is first, okay? So, you can go ahead and distribute that. 3x plus 8x is equal to 11.
Wait a minute.
This is going to give you 11x is equal to 11. Okay? I'm going to divide both sides by 11. All right?
Oh, I didn't know I had to put that in parentheses.
And x will give you 1. Okay? So now we have half of our answer. Now, what is the easiest one to plug 1 into to figure out what y is equal to?
Y equals 2x.
That first equation of y equals 2x, it is very simple to plug in to plug in 1 for x. If you plug in 1 for x, you would get 2 times 1, so y would be equal to what? 2. That's it. That's pretty cool.
What were the coordinates?
It would go in for the x. Whatever it is equal to, that's what you plug it into.
Hey, parentheses or no parentheses?
Why'd you get an x-intercept instead of y?
I just, the easiest way, if you looked at the x equals 2y, that first equation,
Okay, but if you put it in x, why would it come out same?
yes, you're still going to get the same thing.
I have a right.
So lost, but alright, I'm going with it.
So we can just leave it x equals 2y minus 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why?
Why can we leave it like that? It makes sense.
Because we need to figure out what our coordinates are, what x and y are, what our values of x and y. So that first one, x minus 2y equals 3 equals negative 3, that first one, it was easier to solve it for x. Now you can solve it for y if you wanted to, that's fine. So if I did that, okay, I would have minus x from both sides. I would have negative 2y is equal to a negative x minus 3, okay? I would have divided by negative 2.
You get 1/2.
You would get y equals 1/2 x plus 3 over 2. So you could have done that. You could have done either this or that. To me, the first one was easier, right? It was less steps. So you can solve for either x or y to begin with. It does not matter. Does not matter. Okay? So let's use the first one, because that's 2y minus 3. That's a whole lot easier than using fractions in there. It's just simpler. All right? So I'm going to plug 2y minus 3 in for x for our second equation.
So if we do solve for x, we have to plug it in for x.
Yes. Whatever you solve for, that's where you plug it in at. Yep. Good question. Okay? So I'm going to plug in for x, I'm going to plug in 2y minus 3. Okay? I'm going to add 5y, just rewrite it just how it is. Only thing you had to do is substitute that in, that value in for x. Okay? From here, you're solving. Go ahead and distribute that. That's going to give you a 6y. That's going to give you a negative 9 plus 5y is equal to 24. Okay? All I'm doing is solving. All right. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. Okay. Okay. You combine like terms. Good job, Kenny.
3.
Divide both sides by 11. And you get 3. Okay? So, since we're solving for our x and y, we know what the y is now. We know that the y is going to be 3. Okay? Now, we need to solve for x. Correct? Good. So, I'm going to erase this first part, this x minus 2y. so I can have some more room to write this.
It's 3.
What's that so quiet?
I don't know. It's good though, isn't it?
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Okay, so you can choose either one to plug in y for. It looks like to me that first x minus 2y is equal to negative 3. Looks like it's easier to plug in 3 right there for y. Okay, so let's do that. All I'm doing is substituting what we just found for y in for y. We just found that 3 is equal to y. Okay, so all I did was substitute in 3 for y. That's going to give you a 6. Add 6 to both sides. That'll give you a positive 3. Okay? So your x value is 3. As
What if I do it this way?
So the middle one.
long as you got the
know
same
you-
thing, it's fine.
You know how you did the
There's-
middle one? The middle one, we basically don't do that.
So we're going to use substitution to solve this. Okay? Same thing that we just did.
Are you gonna have like an assignment on this?
Yes, you can have the
Print
same.
it up.
Yes.
I can't do this before.
Okay, so we have a y equals 2x minus 4. Since it's already in y equals form, let's just plug that in, that y, that equation, 2x minus 4, in for y. That's all I'm going to do. Make sure when you do this that you use parentheses though, okay? Yes. Okay? Now, when you distribute that, it's going to give you a 6x minus 12 plus a negative 6x is equal to negative 12. How's what negative? Okay. Now, if you look at this, negative 6x plus 6x is going to what?
0.
It's going to cancel the x's.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
And then the 12 will cancel the 12, so it won't take.
Now, if you get an answer of negative 12 is equal to negative 12, look back at your notes where it has that chart.
Infinite solution.
I say it's true.
Look back at your notes to see what that means. What does that mean when you get 2? That means there is an infinite amount of solutions.
If the X or Y cancels out.
Because you have that negative 12 is equal to negative 12, there's an infinite amount of solutions. Now, let's say if your x is canceled, okay? If your x is canceled and say this was just 2, okay? All I did was change that to 2.
No solution.
In that case, if you have a negative 12 is equal to 2, it means no solution. You need to know the difference between that. So if you have it like this would be no solution.
Wait, why does it say 2 right there?
Yeah.
I just changed it.
Can you tell me
Why
what
you
was-
change